Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt Roast.
And I'm Jessica Bun Bun.
This is our reaction and review of All's Fair Season 1, Episode 5.
Yeah.
If you guys were here at the channel last week, you know we were very, very high on that episode. We love Niecy Nash. That was by far the best thing this show has done.
And then now we're here with the Carr character. And
Yeah.
it's really tough for me to say this because we both love Sarah Paulson. She is just incredible. She's so much fun to watch. She has such a huge range. I mean, we've been longtime fans of hers, but this character is so weirdly written that it doesn't make any real sense. It's either one side of the pendulum for her where she's just nasty to be nasty, or she's the complete opposite side of it where she's kind of like, fumbling around, doesn't know how to deal with her daughter, and they're trying to make her more relatable. She's a single mom and all these things that are happening to her. Like, it's all over the place. I feel like Ryan Murphy just didn't know what to do with this character to make this character a full, rich character. And some of this could have been easily fixed, especially the part where she is so like nasty and mean to Allura and the other women, by just having a real reason why that's like that. Because all we really had was, these two women decided they were going to leave the firm, and they didn't bring Carr, who is someone they weren't friends with in the first place. So why is she as mad as she is? Is it just jealousy? Could be, but to be this mean about it feels like it's deeper.
The microcosm that is Carr is the same as the microcosm that is All's Fair, where you just sort of sit back and you're just thinking, what is this show trying to do? Who is this show for? It's sort of like, who is Carr? Okay,
it's for me.
At its best, it's for you. And like the last episode was totally for you, but it was for me too. It was for almost everybody out there because Niecy is phenomenal, but it had a good sense of what its tone was. It was occasionally funny, but it settled in and focused on some pretty serious stuff, and it felt grounded enough to work. And yet this episode, I'm sitting here and I'm feeling like none of this feels realistic enough for me to buy fully into it. I don't buy fully into this Carr character. And with that, it's like, is this show supposed to be camp? Is it supposed to be silly and over the top? But if it's doing that, it needs to just commit to that rather than just, it's cooking the pancake 5 seconds on each side. The inside of it is still raw, and that's not going to taste good when you bite into it.
This is the issue with the show. I'm still enjoying the show for the most part, but you have these like really serious episodes like last week's where I'm like, oh wow, if the whole show was like this would be like a total winner. And then you've got characters like Carr who are really, really campy, not believable. This doesn't feel like a real person. They're not really fleshed out in any kind of way that I believe that someone like this exists. And you can't have something campy like that with something serious about what happened with Emerald and, how good of an actress Niecy Nash is. You've got Sarah Paulson, who's such an amazing actress, in a role that doesn't make any sense for any actress.
We have so much more to say about her. I've got another Sue Sylvester card rabbit hole I'm going to dive into at some point here. But before we get into any of it, be sure to hit that subscribe button because we are here all season long with All's Fair. We're taking you through the highs, the messiness, the character development, all of these good things. And by subscribing, you are making sure you do not miss any of the coverage we have coming your way.
We are here until the wheels fall off with this show. We are here till the end. So hit that subscribe button and stick with us.
Thank you guys so much for your support.
Okay, let's get into some of the weirdness about Carr. And it is the relationship with Chase. That scene was so weird. It didn't make any sense to me. It felt like it came out of literal thin air, where all of a sudden he's really into her and he's trying to seduce her and she's kind of a little with it, but not really. And I'm like, okay, obviously they want to have this show feel, have that feel to it. It is kind of like Desperate Housewives and all these other fun, messy shows where it's like, okay, if you're going to have a show like this and you have a guy who looks like Chase, then you want him to take his shirt off and you want to have these types of scenes. But then you have her in there calling him buddy and baby and washing his hair. And then all of a sudden, it immediately felt like a mommy and son scene. And it just, the whole thing didn't work. Any sort of like fire that was in there, it was just dried up and gone and extinguished.
If you're gonna go full Oedipal, and then there's a sentence I never wanted to ever say, but here we are,
It didn't work.
no, you have to either fully commit to it or not. And because they were trying to do this weird flirtation, this let me get my shirt off moment, and then you're mixing it, they were too many things going on. None of them worked. And beyond all
No.
that, I don't understand what the motive is for Chase to do something like this, unless he is pure on, I have a problem, I need to hook up with every single person I meet, which is very well possible. But other than that, this is already his attorney. He doesn't need to do anything to to just butter her up. Like seduction, it's just kind of irrelevant.
Yeah, it feels like Chase just wants what he can't have. He is the Chase about it all. And, right now, Carr is somebody that's not giving into that. She's his lawyer, and she's kind of like, I know all the people that you've been with. I'm here to ask you if there's
Mhm.
anybody else that's going to be coming out of the woodwork. And I am not going to be one of the people that has to come out of the woodwork because it's just going to mess everything up. It's sort of like does she want to have this night with Chase, or does she want to get her revenge on Allura for not taking her with her when she left the firm?
All right, we're gonna get into this revenge thing because going back into the premiere, I compared it to Sue Sylvester from Glee. I watched way more of Glee than I probably should have. The first couple of seasons were good. After that, but okay. See, the reason though,
As Ryan Murphy does.
this is very, very true. But I think the reason why I wanted to have this comparison is because a lot of people after the fact, Sue's one of the most iconic characters on Glee. And she was
Yes.
very mean and very nasty to the majority of the young characters that were there. But I think there were two reasons that worked. Number one, you understood that, okay, this is someone, she's jealous of the Glee Club, she's jealous of the attention that they're getting. So that's where there's a little bit of a comparison between her and Carr, because Carr's clearly got some element of envy going on here for Allura and Liberty, but it's not spelled out enough. But I think the other reason Sue worked and Carr doesn't is because with Sue, there was always this air of, okay, it's fine if I make fun of these kids or if I throw a slushie at them, but I don't want anybody else to do it. It's my responsibility. I get to be mean. And it's just with Carr, there's no real sense of where her moral compass lies in any of this. She's just like completely holding on to, she didn't really get picked for this firm when there wasn't really that much of a reason for her to be picked in the first place. And it just feels like she just wants to destroy them at every turn. And I was watching this episode thinking that, okay, this is sort of the we're going to humanize Carr episode, because Glee did try
Hmm.
that with Sue Sylvester. And I came out of the Glee episodes feeling a lot better about her. And I just come out of this episode of All's Fair just feeling kind of confused.
I'm confused as well. I mean, the Carr character clearly has some past issues that she's gone
Mhm.
through. She's got her relationship kind of with her daughter, where her daughter doesn't really have any friends. She's just turned 12. All her friends are like her nanny and her violin teacher,
Yeah.
and there isn't really anybody else that she's connecting with. And even when Carr's like, okay, you know what? I've realized that you're not excelling in this school. You're not making friends here. It's not
Yeah.
working for you. I'm going to put you in this other school. You're going to do an essay on anything you want. I'm going to help you get into it. And she takes out one of Carr's most deepest, darkest things that have happened, of why she wears these gloves all the time to hide these scars, and how that's actually affected her daughter. Her daughter's like, yeah, I'm afraid that you might not be here, that you might go back to that you might not be here, and I might be without my mom altogether. And it sounds like she doesn't have that much of a relationship with her dad. And at that point, I was like, okay, we're starting to get
Yeah.
into some of the real darkness and why is so insecure, and the things about her that really craft her into a more well-rounded person. But then the minute that she was really I don't know, taking it kind of her own trauma into this like lawyery type of like, we gotta win. Yeah, use this and we'll get you in using my I was just like, I don't know, man. Like, it's just not working. The Carr character is a disaster.
There's just nothing about her that really makes a lot of sense, including the aforementioned jealousy. Because one thing that really, really stuck out to
Yes.
me, speaking about her daughter, is she's talking about we're going to have this birthday party at the Magic Castle. Do you guys know how hard it is to have a private event at the Magic Castle? This is like one of the most elite institutions in all of Los Angeles. You basically have to know someone if you want to go there. So I'm sitting,
I know, I want to go there.
everyone should want to go there. It just signaled to me, okay, Carr's clearly got a ton of money and she's
Yeah.
clearly got a lot of influence. She's inordinately successful. So why does she need to hold on to this jealousy? Why does she need to get wrapped up in all of these feelings so she goes in and makes a mess of a different case? Like, we've yet to actually see that much evidence that Carr is legitimately good at her job. And because of that, Carr, are you actually good at your job? How have you gotten to this point?
That's the thing about revenge. It's just never enough. It's never enough. You never feel fulfilled. And that's why it's always kind of like, is it worth it to get revenge, or is it worth it to be like, the best revenge is living a good life? Because then you actually feel good about what's happening and you actually feel fulfilled. Where every time you get a win and a revenge against someone, it feels it for a second. It's like shop therapy, right? You buy the sweater, you feel good. Then the next day you're like, oh man, I really need a hat now. And that's kind of what revenge is like. And it feels a lot like that's what's happening, where it's like each case she's getting against them, yeah, she gets that tiny win sometimes, but then, it just goes away. She's never going to be fulfilled doing what she's doing. And that's why, partnering up with this other lawyer already has more depth than what is going on with Carr, where she was like, I want to partner up with you because Allura's taking all my clients. Great, perfect, that totally makes sense. She's not like, oh, I'm out for revenge and this and
Yeah.
calling her all these names. She's like, she is taking my high profile clients, that's costing me money, I need to stop that and put a plug in it. And I know you have a problem with her, so great, so let's get together and like, let's plug up this hole so I can keep my clients and keep my money.
I want to try to give Ryan the benefit of the doubt. And the operative words here is I want to, because as you alluded to, first season Ryan Murphy shows are typically really, really good.
Yeah, they are.
This is when his ideas are pretty well thought out. But with Carr, it felt like I'm going to have her say these biting things in the premiere that make you think that she is going to be the Sue Sylvester level icon, but I'm not actually sure who she is. We're just going to take the first season to figure it out. And because Ryan shows tend to go off a cliff a little bit after season one, I am very worried at this point that we're never actually going to figure her out.
No, this character just isn't working and isn't well thought out. And it's too bad. Again, we really like Sarah Paulson. So, it hurts my heart to say that.
Mm.
I was really excited for this character. And I even at one point felt like if Kim and Sarah had switched roles, that it would have worked even better. But it actually just wouldn't have. It's the writing on the character. It doesn't matter who's in that role. If Sarah Paulson can't pull this off, I mean,
Yeah.
she is seasoned. Then the problem's in the writing.
Yeah, and speaking of writing and the material that they're giving certain characters, like before we move on to the other major storylines, Ryan, what are you doing to convince people to come on? Are you promising them starring roles
I know.
elsewhere? Just think about this episode alone. Like, we have Brooke Shields, who's around for a little bit of time. She's a part of the story of the week. We have Lorraine Toussaint playing this lawyer who's going to Carr. We have Jennifer Morrison of Once Upon a Time, who is the client for all of 3 minutes. Ryan, how are you doing this?
I know. He really is pulling in a lot of big guest stars for the show. I mean, it just feels like that type of a show where, like, Poker Face, which, has been canceled, Shop Around, it's messy, messy, messy,
Yes.
like this show. But they were able to get a lot of really big guest stars for every single episode as well. But since you talked about this Brooke Shields storyline, let's talk about how much I hated it. hated it.
All
It
right.
broke my heart. My grandmother suffered from Alzheimer's. It went on for like 11 or 12 years. It's such an evil, evil disease. It is horrible when people you love are going through this. This storyline made me so mad when Dina was just like, it's for better or for worse. I was like, yeah, it is. And something like this, where she's explaining the whole situation. Oh, me and my husband, and, I was there for him when he was going through a lot of his stuff. And, he was there for me. We had a really good marriage. And then this came in. And now that this has come in, I want to pull the chute because this has been going on for 6 years now. Okay, well, are you taking care of him? Well, no, he's in a facility. They're taking care of him. Are you the POA for him? No, my daughter is. But I still want a divorce so I can go do what I want when I want. I was just like, you're trash. That's a really trashy thing to do to somebody who's done nothing to you. You don't have to take care of him. He's in a facility. Your daughter is also taking care of him. She's the POA. The daughter is right. You can go off and do what you want. You want to go travel for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month? That's fine. Go do that. You don't need to be divorced to do that to him. Like, it's just really breaks my heart.
I will say that this storyline is proof positive to everyone out there who has been saying that All's Fair just hates all the men and just wants to lift up all the women characters all the time. Because I'm coming out of this, I feel really bad for this guy. Not all guys on this show are the worst human beings ever. Like, this is somebody who's clearly been diagnosed with something that is horribly
out of his control.
Yeah, it's unthinkably bad. And
it's so bad.
I'm just also confused. Once again, the writing here with Brooke Shields' character, it seems like she wants to go and live her life and do all these sort of things without judgment. And she feels like there's judgment if she does all them while she's together with him. And I'm just sitting here and feeling like, wouldn't there be more judgment if you divorce this guy and go on and do these things?
I'm judging you.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would be like, oh, you've went through this terrible ordeal. How dare you try to find a way to have some time to yourself? Like, I just feel like that's perfectly understandable. I know there's financial elements and there's other things going on here. It just feels like this character's operating from a very, very inherently selfish place where she just feels like, I'm done with this situation. I want to pull myself completely away from this situation, when there's not really a way to do that that's going to make things better for you.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, I want to be away from the situation, be my own person. And then she's sitting there with her daughter being like, don't worry, I'm not leaving Daddy. I'm still going to be around. Yeah. Well, which is it? Like, this story didn't make any sense. It made her look to me as a horrible person. I just can't imagine leaving the person that you love, that's done nothing to you, that you've done nothing to, in this type of a situation of something that's completely out of their control. It made me mad in all different kinds of ways. I was just so pissed at it.
Let's get to the storyline I like the most now this week, because even in the midst of all of this, we got a couple of minutes that was updating the Lloyd Walton situation.
Yes.
This is the guy who went after Emerald and did unspeakable stuff on this past episode. Yes. We are still left wondering, okay, did somebody take him out? Was it Emerald? We went
somebody did.
We dove deep into this in our episode 4 review, and it's not like this episode gave us answers, but it was good to see, okay, the police are looking into all of this. They've already come to the firm. They've already questioned Allura about her whereabouts. She tries to go ahead and use the Milan situation as her alibi. I don't exactly think this fully absolves her, but, here we are.
Yeah, and I don't know that that's actually really what was going on at midnight or whatever, but I mean, it could be. I just don't think that it's her.
No, I don't think it's her. I don't think it's Dina. I just feel like this episode and probably the next one, if they're going to give us updates on this case the rest of the season, they're probably going to be spent circling a few people who are not the suspect for whatever reason. They might go to Liberty next because I have like a teeny tiny amount of suspicion around her just because of some of the things she's done, that she brought this whole dating club to Emerald, but I don't think it's her either. I just think they need to check off some various names.
Okay, we'll also talk about Liberty here because, yes, she is marrying Reggie, and there's
Yeah.
the whole prenup thing that was going on that she was like, you know what? I don't want that. I'm just going to marry him. It'll be fine. We'll figure it out later if anything goes wrong, but, nothing is going to go wrong. And that, while like I understand that going into a marriage without a prenup because you think that that's going to be forever, that is a great way to go into it. But I also understand people that want to have a prenup, which Reggie wants one. He's just like, yeah, I want to protect my business. You should protect your business. It is a financial transaction when you are getting married. Everything gets tied up.
This story was fine. I didn't hate it.
It was fine.
I didn't love it. Just didn't feel necessary to me because I felt like she's an attorney. Like she's in
Yes.
divorce law. I assumed that eventually we were going to get to the point where Liberty and Reggie had a prenup and that was just going to be a part of what's coming here. Like if there is a twist, then you have been leading the charge with the Reggie is suspicious club these past
Yes.
few weeks.
Suspicious Aloysius.
I still think that's going to come, but I don't think that suspicious Aloysius moment was going to happen with the prenup. I think it's another shoe. Maybe it has to do with his random we're a vegan restaurant now plans or some other financial things he's doing that it's going to blow up. Like it's something that's going to come about later after they get married.
Okay, let's talk about Milan. She has called Chase to tell him that she's pregnant and that she's having the baby, and he's not allowed to be part of the child's life in any kind of way, even though he's like, what do you need me to do? Do you need me to do something physically, emotionally? Do you need money? You need a place to stay? What do you need? I will be there. I will give you anything that you need to make this happen, to make this okay. He feels like he is fully on board as much as he can be. And she's just like, I'm just letting you know you have no choice, that you don't get to be there. I just think that it's unfair that he doesn't have the choice to actually be there and be a father, be a good father, or if he's going to end up being a trash father, he'll be a trash father. But children sometimes are the thing that turns things around for people where, yeah, he's out doing this, that, whatever. Oh, I'm going to be a father. Sometimes people continue on being trash, and other times they're like, you know what? I have something to live for and I have something to turn things around for, and I feel like I'm going to. It's very presumptuous for Milan to just think that I'm going to have this child and you don't get to have any part of it. I mean, he's involved with a million lawyers at this point. I'm sure he's going to legally want to be part of this child's life. And for the child having a father, why not? Like, if you've got someone who loves you and wants to be part, why not?
Okay. I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but I'm just going to say it. If you take out whatever was going on with him and Carr, which I'm preferring to do because I want to pretend it never happened.
Yeah.
I think Chase is a top 3 character on this show. I think he is very, very interesting because I don't think he's all bad. He certainly has bad things that have happened with him and going on with him. But even moments like that conversation, like there's clearly a humanity there. Like he's someone who it feels like in his heart, he wants to care. He wants to figure out who he is, what he wants out of his life. He just needs therapy. Like I don't want to be that generic about it, but he needs someone to actually talk through some of his issues. Like he has identity issues.
Yes,
he has a
he
real
is broken.
Yeah, he's got a real inferiority complex. And I know it's so easy to look at him and be like, okay, you're a hot guy jock jerk bag that's filling all these sort of generic boxes. But I don't think that that's what Ryan is doing with this character. I think he has an interesting handle on him, and I hope that we don't just veer off into generic territory the rest of the way.
Yeah, and I don't think we will after everything we saw with Maria. I don't think that that's where they're going with him. I think he's really broken inside, that he's expected to be looked at a certain way and he's trying to fill that role, but really inside he's a completely different person. And his reaction to Milan being like, anything you want, you need me to come over right now, you need something physical, you need something financial, anything, I will provide it. For her to just close the door and be like, no, I don't want anything from you, I'm sorry, that's not going to end up being your choice. I feel like this is going to be a storyline where he is going to end up taking her to court to be like, I'd like to be a dad.
Yeah, and I would be interested to see it. I mean, overall, this episode's a mess, but at the same time, all's fair is sort of you're digging around in the mud. You're gonna find some jewels, and I do think there are jewels in this episode with Emerald, with Chase, and fun things to be explored.
Especially with Dina. I mean, Dougie had known about that this was end of life for him.
Mhm.
He finally tells her, and he's like, I've known for 3 weeks now, but I just haven't been able to tell you. Seemingly he wanted to just enjoy the last bit of time he had. He was also just very scared. It's a very hard, horrible
Yeah.
thing to have to tell the person you love that you're at end of life. And of course, she took it as badly as anybody would. This is somebody that she truly, truly loves, and she's been with through all this hard time right now. And I guess, she was really hoping that the trials would, bear some fruit.
It's one of those rare times on this show where I actually fully agree with what both people did. Like, I understand fully why Dougie did what he did. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's part of me that wishes he had told Dina, but I'm also like, of course you wanted some time to just enjoy and be with this person that you love. And of course, she's gonna feel betrayed because she wants to try every different
Of course.
option. Like, she loves him. So I think that was portrayed really, really well.
Yeah, I mean, this was a good episode, but because a lot of it was focused on Carr and this character just isn't fleshed out properly, it just made it very, very difficult to thread together the other stories that are really working.
Well, we want to hear from you guys. What do you think is going on with Carr? Do you think Ryan has some sort of grand ending in mind for this character that's going to make all of this make sense? Let us know. Hit that subscribe button. That is a great way to support us as we get closer to 100,000 subscribers here at the channel. And we will see you here next time.